Let's start on a high note. Now, Cusco was awarded the 2013 winner of the World Council of Credit Unions for outstanding growth in membership. What drove this growth?
This was an award for which they introduced for the first time in the year 2013, but they were using the statistics of 2012. Now, there are quite a number of issues that came into play. One of them was the sensitization that was done together with the Ministry of Cooperatives to form youth cooperatives, the public service vehicle cooperatives, which we call the Matatu cooperatives, and also the border or the so-called the motorcycle riders cooperatives. As a result of that, we had growth in membership because we recruited quite a number of those new SACCOS, and the members that joined made our numbers to go up.
While Kenya showed exceptional growth in membership, the asset base, on the other hand, was not as vibrant in comparison to economies in the likes of Brazil. What would you attribute this to, and how can it be addressed?
Brazil is an emerging economy. So if you look at even the income levels, they are a little bit higher. And that's what led quite a number of them to save more and also borrow more. The growth in the savings also was directly proportional to the loans that they acquired during the period, and that's what drove the asset base higher than other countries relative even to America. Now, we'll continue doing a lot of advocacy. There are quite a number of challenges, emerging issues as a result of devolution. Quite a number of the governors who are in office currently do not really understand the cooperative model. And we'll continue with a lot of lobbying and also sensitization programs to enable them understand. We'll also try to introduce county activities where we'll have forums to incorporate the new devolved systems to understand why cooperatives are important, why they exist, what we do, because fundamentally you will realize that a number of these people went to school as a result of the monies that their parents or relatives borrowed from the cooperative movement to take them to school. But immediately they get into the normal job market, they tend not to understand what really is going on within the cooperatives. We are also trying to introduce sensitization programs through those devolved systems where we'll basically partner with them to introduce lessons also even up to primary, secondary, and at least university levels to enable the young graduates who are graduating from these levels of education to not only to articulate the issues of cooperative, but also to join cooperatives as the easiest forms of business, and also as a way and a means of empowering themselves when they grow into adulthood.
As a SACCO union, you're lobbying for banking laws to be amended for your members to be able to access the national payments and clearance system. How is this expected to play out?
Now, our main intention here is to increase the growth of cooperatives, and this can only be possible if the competition level is uniform. Now, we are restricted from accessing the payment system within this country, and that makes it a little bit harder to compete against the mainstream financial institutions.
And how do SACCO members stand to benefit from such arrangements with commercial banks?
Easy accessibility to funds. It will also help us attract the youths to the cooperatives or the SACCO sector. It will also help us as cooperatives to retain cash within our SACCOs without, there's that element of confidence levels where members access loans from cooperatives, but then they want to save this money again in the bank, having two kind of accounts. Now, when that happens, it means there is a flight of money from the cooperatives to the banks. We want to retain that money within the cooperative system. And we also expect the interest rates to be more affordable, as they have always been in the SACCOs relative to the mainstream commercial banks. We also expect to recruit more members. We expect these SACCOs to recruit more members because of the ease in which they will access their finances or their funds which are in the SACCOs. As a result of that, we'll have more savings. More savings will lead to more loans granted out there, and an increase basically in terms of financial intermediation.
One of the issues that has been seen to cripple most SACCOs is the issue of leadership and governance. As a union, how do you help to resolve this for your members?
You know, we were part of the team that drafted the regulations, and we ensured that the governance, issues to do with the governance, were properly articulated within the regulations. So we have been doing a lot of sensitization from the late 90s to date. And I can assure you incidences of poor corporate governance have basically gone down. But we'll continue doing sensitization over time. You know, it takes time for some of these things to change.
Going forward, if the national payments and clearance system is adopted and there's more liberalization for SACCOs, what should we expect?
Of course, the competition will be fairer. That is one. Number two, we expect more members to shift from those mainstream financial institutions into the SACCOs. The ease of access of funds by the SACCO members will also be improved, and that will also lead to efficiency. And again, we want to retain the cash within, or conserve the cash within the SACCOs themselves, instead of having a bank account in a bank account at the same time having a SACCO account. We do not want a dual system where that exists. That's what we want.